Hey, Brian.
Hey, Mike.
We're gonna cheat later on. I'm gonna edit out everything right before that. Okay,
Sure.
So that's good. Hey, folks, welcome back. Fun with Food. Brian's in the hot seat right now. Brian's taking over, right, Brian?
I don't know if I'm taking over, but I was trying to find out what to do with my hands.
With
the
your
whole time
hands?
the screen
Well,
was blank.
first of all, move to your right a little so we can see more of you.
What do you mean? There's enough.
I know there's enough of you, but they kind of want you to fill the screen there a little bit. You know?
Well, that's easy. I just came from Fat Cat, so I had a delicious
Fat Cat in
halibut
Quincy.
leg cod.
Hi, Kayla. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah.
Kayla's joining Brian in this season, and she's your your partner in food.
Cohort.
We're gonna call it not partner in crime.
Co-pilot.
A co-pilot?
Yeah.
Is that what you saw? Okay, co-pilot.
Well, it wasn't me that said Fat Cat today. I just want you to know I was at work and I was minding my own business, and then I got this like bat phone ring, and it was Kayla because I have her on the bat phone.
Bat phone.
And it comes up and it says, "I'm at Fat Cat. My mom and I come a little early. Do you want to meet us there?" Can you imagine that? You know?
Yeah, I can imagine it.
Yeah. So that happened.
It's a great place to go eat. We
Yeah.
featured them on Wicked Bites. What is it, about 2 years ago? Right in the beginning of the pandemic, right, Brian?
About 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years, almost 3 years ago, right?
And they
exactly.
kept their pricing until like
Neil,
last year.
yeah, I
So,
know.
mean, like,
Everybody else was raising their prices, which they had to, which is understandable. But they kept it at the same price, pre-pandemic price, until about a year ago. And then they only raised it a little bit.
yeah, they only raised a couple dollars here.
Yeah,
and there,
exactly.
You know.
So, I mean, that's a great place to get a good meal. I mean, there's a lot of great places in Quincy. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Quincy's become a food destination now. Hancock Street here in Quincy, you have dozens of restaurants that you can go, and all kinds.
Yeah,
You know?
I think we've done a profile on like all of them.
Almost.
Like
yeah,
the
almost.
Faux Pasteur is the only one we haven't done, but literally to the top of the street all the way down. We've done
Yeah,
them.
we got a few more we should feature, definitely. The Shaking Crab, a couple of pho places. There's a hot pot place around the corner too that would be great. But you know, in due time, we got to cover everybody around the New England, so we can't just focus on Quincy, right? I ran into Leo Keka the other day too from Alba, and he's looking good.
There on Monday,
Yeah, he's looking good too, and everything's going well for them as well. All right, so
Alba was packed. I was there on Monday night, and I got the double
That's
cut
right.
pork chop that we had before. with
I
the
saw
mashed
that.
potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't
We
help myself.
have this little, I wouldn't call it a competition, but it's kind of like a competition. When I go out to eat, I take all the foodie pictures and post them, although I didn't do that tonight. And then when Brian does it, he does the same thing.
I'm surprised you didn't do it today earlier.
Oh, yeah,
Brian. I'm shocked.
If we've already, yeah,
I'm shocked you didn't
Yeah.
document that.
Sometimes I just go into feed
Camera
mode.
eats first.
Yeah, sometimes I just go to feed mode, and I'm like, nah, you know.
I look so pale next to both of you. I need to get some sun. I'm looking at the monitor. I was like, I'm looking pale.
No.
I'm a little less
that's
pink
me.
than the rest of you. You have a little bit more color.
Yeah.
Maybe I just
I
sucked it
don't-
out of me. I was running up the street to get here. Okay, well, Kayla, did you like the Fat Cat? Have you been there before?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times because
Okay.
my brother lives in Quincy with his fiance. So
Oh, okay.
I've been to there's one restaurant that we usually go to, which is basically like our daily thing whenever we come down here. It's called Assembly. I don't know if you heard of it, but
Yeah, North Quincy,
but
yeah.
it's our regular hangout when we come down here to visit them. So
Okay, and
but yeah.
you must come down fairly often then. right?
yeah, fairly often, when we can, yeah.
I mean, one of the good things, a lot of these cities like Quincy, Lynn now, Haverhill, and Worcester's starting to come up
yeah.
again. I want to shout out to the Worcester people. They're becoming food destinations, and people are enjoying them because not everyone wants to go into the city.
No. yeah.
Okay. The other day I went to Strega and Empire, and the parking garage in that building, $40 for just a few hours. You know, and that's quite a lot of money to be paying before you even go out to dinner. So yeah, that's a little tough. I hope that they realize that lower parking costs would help the businesses in the area. You know,
Yeah.
so maybe the restaurants and the parking garages need to come together and say, hey, you know, we could make more money and more volume.
Yeah.
The only place that they really have a great bargain is where, Brian?
It's right when you come out of that tunnel, right there.
The Haymarket
Yeah,
parking
the
garage.
Haymarket parking, so you get a couple
Okay.
hours there. They validate.
3 hours,
So-
and they validate for $3. That's the best deal in Boston if you can find a spot. Obviously, if you're going there on a Friday or Saturday night,
It's usually
less
full.
likely. Yeah, usually
It's
full
usually
on those
full.
nights.
You got to get there early.
Yeah, on those nights you got to get there early. But on other nights, on off nights, you can definitely find a good deal. You can still find a good deal. You know, it just depends on when you go there and, you know, luck of the draw if, you know, somebody's coming out at the
And
same
they are
time.
closing the streets again this summer too. So
No, they're not.
Oh, I heard
No, they're not in the
No.
north end. They're
Really?
closing this. That's correct. They're closing the streets for restaurants not in the north end. And there's been a big brouhaha about that. And I can see both sides of it.
Yeah.
But the main reason, according to the city, is that the residents of the north end do not want
Too
them.
rowdy at night. That's
Well,
what I
not
heard.
just too rowdy. Traffic, congestion, trash, rodents. I'll say that nicely. Okay.
Ratatouille's my friend.
It's Ratatouille.
Yes,
But
exactly.
that's the reason why the residents of the North End were complaining about it. So I think after the several years of doing it, even though it was good for the restaurants survived without it for this
Yeah.
for all that time beforehand. But it is a little unfair. You can see the restaurant side of it too.
Right. Oh,
It's a little
absolutely.
unfair
A little?
that other restaurants
Okay.
in the city get to have it and they don't. And they are, when you look at it, the destination for food
They're
in
the
Boston.
premier food place.
Okay, so I can see both sides of it. Unfortunately, there's no simple solution. So for at least for this year, it's no dining on
Wow.
Hanover Street. But you know what? I like Brian's suggestion the best, and he said it. Let's just close Hanover Street.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
I said that years ago. I'm
Especially
like,
in the
close
summertime,
street.
you know. Close Hanover Street, make it a walking street, except for emergency vehicles, just like the downtown crossing.
Yeah.
You know,
You literally can have a gate there if you wanted to, or a detail,
yeah,
and just close the street for the summer.
yeah,
Because the festivals they have down there, you
Right,
know,
exactly.
It's just and the food and just like it's more space for these restaurants weren't built to house the people that they got down there right now.
Mm.
That's the reason why the sidewalk parking opened up tables, just tables that they could have.
Well,
that's,
again, that's
and we're
the
talking
same.
about money. We're talking about that generates money. So
you-
just close the street. If you go to any street in Europe, they have streets like that. They're just closed down.
Yeah, they've been like that for years.
they've been
though.
like that
They've
for
been like that for
hundreds of
years.
years.
People were used to that.
And what, we can't pull it off?
They have probably a little less traffic in those areas too. Boston is a tough city to navigate. Let's be honest. Okay.
Yeah, but
so-
it's the street is so tough. Just close it. It just makes perfect sense.
I agree.
You know, but hey, oh my.
I think they could do the same. They do the same thing for Newbury Street once in a while,
Street.
where they close it down and they have people walking around, going to the shops.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
You
Again,
know, Mike, they used to close this street where we're located.
Hancock Street.
They
yeah.
used to do the sidewalk bazaar when
Yeah.
all these different places were down here. You had Coleman's, Sears, you know, Child World, all that stuff. Well, now you got all
Child
these
World.
restaurants.
Boy, you're really dating yourself.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like this is. I mean, I was, you know, 6-7 years old.
Sure
But
you
look
are.
at it now. We have all these restaurants. Who's to say that the city of Quincy doesn't get together and say, let's have a restaurant week, close down the streets, and have all these shops
A
come out the
restaurant
street?
festival. I think that's a
Great
great
idea.
Well,
Sure.
then plus Brian too, where I live in Waltham, they close off the close off Movie Street, which is
Yeah.
a huge strip of restaurants, and they closed that off for the Phantom Gourmet Food Festival or whatever. Like I think it's like a year or two ago. So
Yeah.
like that's one strip alone is insane.
That's great. Okay, so tonight, we haven't done this in a while. As a matter of fact, Fun with Food has not been on the air in this form in the studio for almost 2 years. It's been
That's just incredible.
it's been 23 months since we've been in the studio doing this. So thank you for coming back. Anybody that's watching, and anybody that's not watching, okay.
You're out.
But we hope to be on the road as well as in the studio a lot more. We will be still doing shows with Wicked Bites. We'll be talking about that in a little bit. And now Brian and Kayla have started something on their own. And Brian, I want you to start talking about it, and we have a clip for that. So tell us what's going on, Brian.
Well, basically, it was just a high-level concept on what the food world is doing now, and then how people are impacted by that, and what people look for now when they go out. They look for an experience. So scraping their plate, you might think it's like all about food, and Kayla and I were talking this earlier. It's not about just food. It's about in life scraping the plate and getting as much as you can from what feeds you. whether it's an experience, whether it's a play, whether it's a travel in the world, and how food in general brings people together. And food is almost like a language. Even if you don't speak the language, it's an experience that you have between different people and different lifestyles and different cultures and different foods that all come together in one place. And they share those wonderful moments. So we're going to try to, do the cooking at home and show people how to cook it at home. Go out to a restaurant, talk about it at a restaurant with the chefs, and then go to that destination and try to experience it from where it comes from. So whether it's tacos from Mexico, or whether it's meatballs and pizza from Italy, or whether it's French Canadian food from Montreal or Quebec. And then after that, try to bring it back here. All while meeting new people and getting to know people from different countries and making the world a little smaller.
Excellent. So, Kayla, how did he rope you into this? I need to know.
he coaxed me. Well, I wouldn't say coax, but I don't have as much experience as I would like to, cooking. I mean, even though doing this is very, very much of a learning experience for me. But I don't know how I got roped into this when I haven't cooked one thing in my life. So, but I mean, it's a good.
Ooh,
again,
she's a novice, huh?
Again, it's a good learning experience for me. So I got to put it in that perspective,
Okay.
But I mean, it's a lot of fun, and scraping the plate, in a sense, I was going to say it's a metaphor, like what he was saying about getting every last bit of life or whatever. So
This is a quick question. Do you find that a lot of Gen Zers and younger millennials are like you that don't know how to cook that well?
I wouldn't say I would vouch for them, but I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, it's true, Brian. So I guess you're going to teach a new generation.
Well, and what's great and what Kayla brings to it, I think she's underplaying her hand a little bit too. And what Kayla brings to it is that inexperience, and that she's almost like fresh clay to mold and show the cooking side of it. But she also brings to the table her career in movies and her ability to act, and just being a good person. I think that speaks more than anything. Someone who's challenges themselves, someone who says, I haven't done it, but I'll try it. Someone that's, this show started at 8 o'clock. She said 2 hours early. Someone who
Great,
really
I love that.
shows up to play the game.
That's
And that to me, and I'll say this about anybody that I know, integrity, of character and ability to apply themselves to something and follow through. That speaks volumes about a person.
Excellent.
So that's what I look for when I looked at a few different people to work with, and I found Kayla, and I'd seen her and I'd met her out a couple times, and she kept coming into play, and I said, oh, what a great thing to have in contrast with myself and her, because it's such a different group of people, and it's a different impact. So she's got the younger edgy movie cool audience, where we've got the older experienced, more well-traveled, seasoned, and it's like early Regis and Kathy Lee, when they came together, and it's made great content because they were a little bit different, but the same in some regards,
Right. Well, I can't think of two more different people than I'm seeing on the screen right now.
Oh yeah,
she's beautiful. Pretty redhead thing going on.
I'm the guy that's
you got the
belly
bod thing going on. You're good, man. You're good. By the way, in the future, I wouldn't describe a pretty young lady as a lump of clay, but that's just me. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Well, and her mom loves it. Her mom loves to know that she's learning how to cook, because actually Kayla comes from a family that like to cook. She comes from an Italian family in East Boston.
Yeah.
There you
go. Ty sees Boston. Yeah,
right.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, just a little. And I'm like, but sometimes I think that people don't know what they're capable of until they do it. That's my firm belief. I think that some people say, "Oh, I failed." I'm like, "Did you ever really try?"
Yeah, you got to learn by doing.
Did you just gotta? Did you? If you didn't burn water, you know what I'm
if
saying?
I didn't burn the house down.
Yeah, you didn't burn the house down. You're
Hard
okay.
to burn water.
Okay.
Okay. Tell you what. We're gonna take a look at the dynamic between the two of you. We got a nice little clip here, and we'll come back right after this clip. Okay.
All right, cool.
Goodness.
So here we go.
Here we go.
We're starting a new show called
Scraping the plate.
Scraping the Plate. And basically what it's going to involve is my friend Kayla, who I met a little while ago. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Kayla Caulfield. I'm a actress, model, and singer located here in Boston. I've been modeling for about 12 years, and I recently started to get kind of serious with the acting. Well, I started like 5 years ago after I graduated high school. I kind of made the transition from modeling into acting. Like I didn't go to college or anything. I just went right into acting.
Cool.
Stand-in work, background work, working with student films, independent films here in Boston, Rhode Island. I just recently got lucky being part of the
Lightkeepers?
Oh, Lightkeepers, yeah. But then also Coda that won the Oscars last year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to come out and like know what you want.
Yeah.
Usually people don't come out that way.
I know. Yeah. I didn't. It just blew up overnight, and I just didn't expect it to. I mean, being nominated is one thing, but winning is.
And then putting herself in certain circles where she meets other people in the industry, like myself, who has been in cameras and film for quite a while now, for at least 2 decades. I started off in still photography and shooting models, you know what I'm saying, of course, and all of that stuff, but doing a lot of stuff here in New England. We're both from New England, so we come from here, which is kind of cool. And I think it's kind of like a little melting pot of everything. This is Boston is known for people from all over the world coming here and being here. We actually just saw these chips, which we actually love. They're from Mexico, but it's from a guy that's from New England that makes them. And basically, scraping the plate to me is not leaving anything on the plate in life. You know what I'm saying? Really, just getting everything that's down in there, getting the spice. You know, and having those experiences when you get to a point when that's all you have. That's the most important thing. So, being all these places and Kayla being kind of new to it and actually sharing it with somebody else is creating that experience. And creating that experience through you is now I can have someone to talk to about it.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things, like, what are all these great experiences good for if I have no one to converse about it? And that would be along the lines of what I'm thinking for as far as telling a story. Because that's all we do in life. We only tell a story, and the story that we create for ourselves. Yeah. So that's just my background, Cameron. So photography, film, working with, Ryan just recently, but Michael Zotos and working with Ernesto Galan on some of the high-end theater stuff is really phenomenal. And to experience all these great things in life, whether it be art, music, history, culture, that's something that I am and permeates me. You know, it's just, and I want to push that forward. You know what I'm saying, and give it out there and give back. So that's my background. And I think today we're going to cook what type of food, Kayla?
Well, Mexican.
Mexican food.
That looks like here.
Because it's the middle of winter, okay? And the middle of winter in Boston is usually what, like -10?
Yeah.
That's the temperature going on next week.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, escaping to Mexico, which I've been to a number of times, is one of the best experiences. It was really cold outside, and you go down there and you have that hot weather, and it's like, I'm in summer again.
Yeah.
You know, like finally, you know, like the sky opens up, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Very good job, guys.
Thank you.
Well, sometimes we can be long-winded.
We. I wonder who you're talking about.
But the whole thing, though, is I also want other people to grow and experience from this, too. And hopefully it gives them some tools that they can use in the future when they travel or when they see the world. I've been around the world 3 times. I've been to over 80 different countries. I've met so many different cultures, so many different people. And I just love that experience. And I'm just reliving it again because I always try to find an avenue back to that travel and food. In my life, that's what permeates, you know? And I think after I get all these other people and they see these things, if they even go out and do one thing, if one person in this who's ever watched the show goes out and does that one thing that challenges themselves, I can guarantee that it'll change their life. You spend a week in a different country, you don't know how to speak the language, you don't know anybody there, and you go and you challenge yourself, you visit, and you experience things, you'll come back a different person. So if I can influence one person, now Kayla, she has no choice.
I think that's how many people are watching right now. One person.
Like 1 or 2 people. and that's how great things grow. Like, we haven't even learned to crawl yet. That's how new this program is yet. We don't have our music yet. We don't have our intro yet. But we have an idea, and we have
Well, you know
lot
the
of
old
passion.
saying, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
you got to start somewhere, you know. And Kayla, like, talk about someone who stepped up, like being there every day. I wanted to film, being aggressive to want to learn new stuff, and even like she was saying, her friends now want to cook a dish that she made, Kayla's queso. Like, that's exactly what I want, you know.
Good.
I want people to
So
get
mission accomplished.
challenged, you know, like, yeah, go somewhere, do something. Like, how many relationships end with, what do you want to get? I don't know.
I don't know. That's guilty.
Oh yeah,
worse.
everybody
Guilty.
does that.
You don't have an idea? I got an idea.
Well, I guess the,
You know?
the
This should
same
be a
question.
restaurant called, I don't know. Like, where do you want to go? I don't know.
That's a good one.
Boom.
I guess
So-
the same question is, what do you want to eat
Well,
for
she
dinner
was out
tonight?
having wine. She was cheating on me a couple weeks ago. 'Cause she cheats on me now, too. So she was out getting Fulcino wine.
Oh, Fulcino.
And I think we have a mutual friend.
Pacino Vino, yeah,
Of
Yeah.
Dave
Dave.
Russo, yeah.
Dave
Russo.
Russo.
Cousin.
Drinking good wine. And I was like, hey, can you bring back some wine for the beef stew? Because we use a red wine in the beef stew, you know? And she drank it all.
Kayla,
Yep.
Hey,
Kayla,
I'm Italian.
what's up with
I
that?
can't help it.
Drag it.
what's up with that? We're going to actually bring our guest tonight on the screen. Hello, Marlena Garcia, who she's so soft-spoken right now.
Now it's 50% better looking.
Yeah, right?
There's two angles right there.
Boom.
The Hollywood squares, yeah.
The Brady Bunch.
You see how I just kind of symmetrically
Yeah, I see how you
put the young
balance it
ladies
out.
on one side and us on the other?
Yeah, because it was a seesaw. These two here
True,
balance
true.
each other out. Is that what you're
Right,
saying?
now it looks much better, definitely. Marlena has been involved in a lot of the stuff that we've been doing. She has been working with myself and a few other people on the Wicked Bites project, which, if anybody hasn't seen it, Wicked Bites is a TV show on Nessun every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. And we're in the middle of new shows at the moment. And Marlene has been along with myself for a couple of those shows. Brian, which he says I'm cheating, but Brian hasn't been able to because
Stunt belly.
yeah, well, the stunt belly, that's what they call him. But actually, without Brian, we can actually film the food while it's still on the plate.
Yeah.
The running joke is if they're showing a plate of food and it's already got a big bite out of it, or if something's missing, the cameraman got to it before we could.
Stuff just falls. It's
Yes,
defective.
Defective, right? Defective food.
I'd be with Brian too.
Yeah, there you go.
Me and him be battling in the back.
Right.
We did that on the vineyard on the other show.
Yeah, on the This Week in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the lobster dishes.
Oh, yeah.
You, Nicole, Marlena.
Please
I
don't
can-
talk
I can
about
ne-
this.
I can never get in there. I can never get in there.
Poor Michael.
Poor Michael.
But Marlena, your experience with Wicked Bites, even with going on a few of the shows, a lot of fun though, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I learn a lot.
yeah.
I get to do stuff alone most of the time. So, and I'm learning from Michael, you as well, and every other host, Bianca,
Lee.
Nicole, Lee,
Yeah, Nicole
And
was
Scott.
Stevie D'Amato, come on, let's talk about Stevie.
Steve.
Yeah.
Snacks.
Stevie
and
Snacks.
you know, all these restaurants that welcome us in, having us try their food, and
Yeah, let's
being
let's
so
take a look.
friendly and welcoming, and be like, what do you need? And
Well,
we
you-
need another plate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you go cook us another
let's talk
plate?
about some of the most recent episodes we've had, which are very interesting, some of them, okay? Last week, we went down to the River House, right? The River House in Taunton.
right.
Right, okay, and this place, Brian, I think you'd like this place. They have igloos there. Oh, there they are.
Yep.
They have igloos for dining outside in the middle of the winter.
$50,
Yeah,
and it goes to a charity.
Right, exactly. They don't make money off of the igloos. And if you notice right there in the middle, that blue thing, that's actually not a fountain. That's actually a fire pit. That whole thing lights up, which was very cool. They got a mermaid in the middle and everything else like
And
that.
the mermaid stays there too.
Yeah, right. It's like it's pretty cool in the wintertime. Well, actually pretty warm in the wintertime, I suppose you could say that. And it was very nice people, very friendly people. The fact is, though, when we were there, that one particular day, it was 65 degrees outside, even though it was winter. So-
Surprisingly.
yeah, surprisingly. So that was pretty cool, actually. I enjoyed it. But, you never know what to expect when you're in a situation like that. But the food was good. I think there's a salmon. And that was like a broccoli
That was
casserole?
amazing.
Yeah, you had that. You brought that home, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was like a broccoli casserole, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I never
right.
had that before. It was really nice.
Yeah, and they have these. This I think a lot of people would enjoy. There's flights of coffee. Okay, on the left is iced coffee. and on the right
Yes.
is regular hot coffee, and each one is a different flavor. There's like mint, orange,
Orange.
like with Grand Marnier, and then the other
Peppermint.
one, yes, and you can see on the cold ones they have Reese's peanut butter cups. My favorite was cinnamon toast
The
crunch.
Yep.
Yeah,
now you're
okay.
speaking my language.
Okay, there you go. Right.
I'm
So,
not really a
little bit of
coffee
everything there.
person. However, trying that,
And here's some seared
was
tuna.
different.
Seared tuna is pretty good too. So yeah, it was a nice place for going there and meeting friends, that type of deal.
the
Well,
vibe was different too.
It's a rustic vibe, which is pretty cool.
I heard the food was fantastic for someone I work with.
Okay.
He says the biggest thing, make reservations. And he lives
Oh,
5
yeah.
minutes away. He
Yeah,
can
maybe
barely
I
get a
didn't.
reservation
I didn't know if
at
people.
that place.
I think the day we were on an off day, so probably you didn't need reservations. I think you definitely need reservations for the.
You need the other
for the-
because my friend was like,
for
he
the-
goes, you don't understand how hard it is to get a reservation. The food's so good.
Oh, okay.
And it kills him because he lives like 5-10 minutes away.
Okay.
I believe for the igloos, yes.
For the igloos, yeah,
The igloos
definitely regular.
sold out. I believe
Yeah.
that every day.
Except for the day we were there because it was too warm. We stuck
We were
inside an
lucky.
igloo. Yeah, we guess we were lucky. But we still found a bunch of young women. I'm going to call them young women because they were young women at heart.
They were drinking sangria.
They were-
I saw
yeah,
what they were up to.
They were partying it up. Yes, definitely.
They were keeping us young. They were
Uh-huh.
so young, spirited. I would go
Definitely.
out with those girls.
Definitely.
Those
So,
women.
on that same episode, although Marlena wasn't there for this one, and neither was Brian, but I know Brian has been to this restaurant on numerous occasions. Let's see if I get the right one. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let's go. I go. What's
Look at me in the back.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, steak. I like
Oh,
that
hold
too,
on,
Mike.
that's another one too. I got to the wrong one each time. There we go. All right, we'll go to those other ones later. The Union Oyster House in Boston, and as you see there, home of America's oldest restaurant. So, Brian, I know you know a little bit about this place, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just if you're any person that grew up in Boston, you know where, the Union Oyster House is. The shucking there is right at the table. Very intimate, very small restaurant. They even have a JFK table there. A lot of presidents have eaten there. I mean, it's just a place to go for seafood. Just the tradition of it all. And not only that, I would go down there, and then you go right next door to Bell in Hand. You go dancing there at night. I mean, just that whole area right there, growing up, was just like something you had to do. Like, you had to go there and get the clam chowder. That's just like a rite of passage you have. And Kayla loves clam chowder. And not only that,
Yeah.
I think someone has even a more recent connection than me, Kayla.
Yeah.
Because she has connections in Boston. Why don't you talk about what you were doing down there?
All right, so if anyone's familiar with the Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell movie Spirited that came out last winter, they actually filmed a scene in the back alley for like an old 1800s scene, and I remember it was like a whole week of filming that, and it was like in the middle of September, and of course we all had period piece clothing on, and it was the middle of September, and it was so hot. It was so hot. It was so bad. But if you've seen it, then you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, that's all right. But we did shoot a scene in that back alleyway.
I saw the movie. It was good. It's on
Yeah.
Apple TV.
Apple TV, yeah.
For anyone who wants
Yeah,
to.
HBO Max too. I had it on.
It's on HBO Max. I didn't know that.
HBO
Okay,
Max,
that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of your work can be seen on Apple TV, huh, Caleb?
Well, yeah, Coda, yeah.
Coda, yeah.
Coda,
Yeah, let's
Little-
talk. Let's
little-
talk about that for a minute.
shout out.
Sure, go ahead.
because- yeah,
Academy
I mean,
Award winner.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Alright,
Go ahead.
What,
You can
what,
talk about
what
it
want me to
quickly.
talk about? Like,
Well, it was an Academy Award winner
Academy
a year
Award,
ago.
yeah, it just-
Currently, still the champion right now.
It slowly started. It had that snowball effect because it was filmed in I think 2018 and 2019, and then it made it to Sundance like around like 2020. I think 2020 or 2021. I forget, but it started to have that snowball effect where it started to get awards from Sundance, and then SAG awards, and the BAFTAs, and then other numerous awards, and then that's when it was nominated for an Oscar. I mean, like I said, like it was good that it was nominated, but it won. It was just
You were over the
unreal.
moon at that point. weren't you?
unreal.
Yes.
Like,
To be on a principal character on an Academy Award winning film. I mean,
yeah,
the only next step up
Never
is you're going to win an award for
She was the
a
off-key
solo
girl.
act.
I was off.
I have a question though. How from the beginning and then now? What's the difference when you first started and then you seeing yourself win all these awards? How do you feel about that?
I mean, like, it was just an like surreal experience. Like I didn't expect for it to blow up. I mean, it was just like a small independent film, kind of like Manchester by the Sea with Casey Affleck. It was like a small sleeper film, but with Marley Matlin. So I wouldn't expect it to not do good, you know. So, but you know, like at the point in time where it was after post production, they had like some financial issues and other stuff, and I was like, oh great, this is probably not going to go anywhere. So there's some doubts, but then there were some rumblings that they're almost done with editing and the final post-production period. But yeah, just
Especially during the pandemic, there
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
lot
it
of, there was a
kinda-
lot of question
very
marks on
iffy,
films
yeah.
and whether they were going to come out or whether they were going to go direct to digital, things like that. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
there was a lot of gray area
lot of-
issues going on at that point in time.
and unfortunately we couldn't go to Sundance. It was all virtual, which was a bummer. But
But speaking of Sundance, little known fact, that's when Apple TV bought
yes,
Coda, and they
Yes.
set a record.
the highest
They
paid.
they shattered the record.
Yeah.
The record for buying a film at Sundance. And so that's why Apple knew right then and there it was going to
Right.
be a winner. Whether it won an Academy Award
Yeah.
or any award,
Well, you
they
know
knew it
what
was
the
going to be a
movie was
winner
about,
for
right,
them.
Mike?
What was that?
You know what the movie was about, right?
I saw the movie.
It
Sure.
was about food. It was
Is
about the
it?
fishing industry. It was about food.
It all goes back to food. I mean,
No, but like
food
she
is
struggled
life,
to
right?
help the family out
Right.
with the fishing industry, but she had to sacrifice her own dreams
Right.
to take care of her family. So this the pull back and
Pull,
forth,
like-
the drama between it was just
And let's-
it was
let's-
amazing. And it's filmed in Gloucester, where I have a lot of
Right.
friends.
And let's give a shout out to Berkeley College of Music,
Yeah,
which
Berkeley,
is a
I
central,
worked with
Yeah.
a lot
a
of the
central
Berkeley kids. Yeah.
key figure in that as well. All right, going back to our food now, and yes, we'll talk about Gloucester someday because Gloucester's got a lot of great restaurants as well, as Brian keeps telling me constantly.
Constantly, I'm hammering
Constantly.
you. I'm saying
Yeah,
the
Mike,
no
we gotta
show,
get these restaurants
Rockport,
on Wicked Bites.
Feather and Wedge.
Yeah,
you know,
I know. We
passports.
Brian,
you know.
if I had a magic carpet, we could visit every place. That's what I'm sure Scott.
I'm
Woodley
sure the
feels
four
same
of
way.
us will go.
Yeah. Oh well, maybe
That's
someday.
not even a question.
That's
but-
all right, right? So, sounds like a good night. Food night out. Food night out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but watch your plates, lady.
But
Don't
that's
get-
just
don't get
something
it
more
within-
about Kayla. Like, I think that she's so dynamic, you know, and she has so many abilities, and I think that's what she's going to bring to the show.
Yeah,
She's going
excellent.
to bring her
Crack
her,
that shell, girl.
Yeah, there you
Go,
go.
girl.
All right, so
Marlena.
now we're going to go
Brought up
to
that
Co-star.
this week's show coming up.
I'm taking the wheel.
Okay, now I can go back to this week's show coming up. We went to this amazing place in North Reading called Teresa's Prime. And that place, the setting, first of all, was absolutely gorgeous. Take a look at this. They got a beautiful courtyard there. And it looks like it's sort of like a golf course thing, but it's not really a golf course. But that day we were there. It was a nice day, too, for a winter anyway. So we went there and pleasantly surprised, but there's actually two restaurants in one. So there's one restaurant on top of the other.
Right.
The Prime Steakhouse is the top on the top, plus they have a function facility, and then underneath is more like a sports bar.
Yeah, so,
So-
dining on the top,
right.
and then underneath is more fun, casual.
Exactly. So the foods there vary based on the restaurant that you're in, but the foods upstairs are just, I'm going to say something Lee says all the time, to die for. Okay? A tomahawk steak, Ryan, that you would have just...
Yeah. I love Lee. She's awesome.
Okay, but the food there was just beyond what I would say was just normal restaurant fare. Okay, that was the sirloin. Was that this? No, that's the sirloin. Oh, then they had this
Bacon?
pork belly.
Oh,
Pork belly that they had there.
Breasted, yeah.
Oh yeah. it
I'm
was-
not
it
much
was-
of a meat eater, but
There you
those cherries on the top were.
There you go. That's a great cut right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rosemary and tomato.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Beauty.
Yeah, and the restaurant itself is absolutely
Spicy.
beautiful. They have a beautiful setting and everything else. And by the way, when you walk in on the right-hand side in the foyer, they have these wine lockers, and we were told by the restaurant owner, who was very, very pleasant to myself and Marlena, that they are private wine lockers for regular patrons, and they stock their own wine in there. And they get it when they want to when they're eating dinner there, and they basically have their own reserve inside the restauant, which is a cool idea. I love that idea.
Wine
So it's
snobs.
exactly. So that's coming up on this week's Wicked Bites, and just we'll close out the Wicked Bites stuff in a second. Okay, so then we went to a place not too far from here, which will be I think 2 weeks from now, Novara's, and this is up in East Milton Square, right near the Quincy line. Okay, almost right on the Quincy line. There's Marlena doing her thing in the back. You notice I'm not in the picture because I'm taking the picture. Scott Whitley there, and then Lee is in the one that's looking at the dish down there. And actually, she's probably looking at the wine.
I like Scott. Scott's willing to do anything too. Scott.
Oh yeah, he's in there. He's in the mix. He works hard. He works hard. But it's a gorgeous restaurant, and people don't know this, but it's the former East Milton movie theater. Okay, so let's take a look at some of this food. Okay, Marlene and I were just head over heels.
No.
Head over heels. This plate was a chicken parm. It melted in your mouth. Of course, freshly made pasta. That's always a plus. And Steve says, the gravy. The gravy was excellent.
I think Michael loved this more than I did.
Maybe. Oh, okay. That's fine. That's good. We both love this
I
one.
love this one.
The arancini. That was delicious. And that sauce you see there, it was sort of like a hot blue cheese sauce. Mm-hmm. A warm blue cheese, not hot. Not hot in terms of spice. And then we have, this Marlena took this home. Sorry,
yeah,
Brian.
those Brussels sprouts were good.
You're talking about the Brussels sprouts when you're seeing lobster?
I'm not talking about the Brussels sprouts, yeah.
You know.
It was a surf and turf. Underneath there is a filet mignon, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Okay, of course they are. This veal with Brussels sprouts, and it was like a lemon sauce there. Oh, it was delicious.
It's the Brussels sprouts for me.
Well, that's good though.
You got the lazy Susan on there?
Yeah. I didn't.
Lazy Susan.
It's not my. I tried. I could have cropped it a little better. Of course, the glass of wine.
No one else is going to see that but me. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm glad you caught it. This is a nice salad with some Kalamata olives and some shaved Parmesan on top of it, and of course the pizza. The reason I'm showing the pizza last, it has a fig dressing on top of it with prosciutto and arugula. So that was pretty cool. So check it out, Novara in East Milton Square. That feature is going to be on Wicked Bites in probably a couple of weeks. And Marlena, you enjoyed those shoots that we went to?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm always learning something new.
That's what Fun with Food is all about. Okay, learning something new, maybe something you didn't know. It's not just about restaurants, though, so don't get that impression. Just like Brian's doing with Kayla, in the kitchen. We like to feature behind the scenes a lot, and also other things that people don't normally think about, like Ginger Betty. Okay, we can talk about Ginger Betty for a second. You went to Ginger Betty's in the fall, right before Christmas, and you learned all about that process and what they do there. It's pretty fascinating stuff. A person like that. Starting from scratch, not just on her cookies.
That's right. Their experience of building a business and going out there and sacrificing themselves, however, doing it for their community, because Ginger Betty really does it for her community. She doesn't do it for herself. She does it selflessly. And that was the piece of the puzzle for me taking it home. So it was very inspirational talking to her, interviewing her, and seeing what she was about and her background.
Excellent.
Yeah,
and Brian,
been there too.
Yeah, I went there. Took a few goodies home myself.
Yeah,
did you really?
That's like
good.
your ginger.
I
We're
had
going
to.
somewhere.
Went in Rome.
Just in case you guys know, I have a couple of Ginger Betty bucks here,
Ooh.
so we can give these out.
We
later.
should take those home.
I'm rich. Hey, Beth, I'm coming for you. Okay. They're delicious. I remember when we had them here for the 2020 Fashion Awards, and everyone just kept all night long. So
Oh, I know I did.
We also want to find people. We want to find people that are interested in being showcased here at Fun with Food. So you want to like, subscribe, pound it away on there. And if you want to, or if you have a small business that you want to put on blast, leave us a message. We just might end up there too.
We would love that.
And get you here in the studio, and you can talk about what you have.
Normally, also, folks, we do food tasting on the show. We're just not doing it tonight, but we actually, all of us ate before we came here. Marlene and I went to the
I can't
Cheesecake
wait.
Factory. But next time we will be doing some food tasting tests, which we used to do. We just been kind of bogged down with getting things organized, but that's okay. We had to set a date.
Things are coming up.
It's
Stay
coming up next
tuned.
time. And we're also going to do location stuff again. Last year we did go to where, Brian?
Tresca?
No, no, that was 2 years
That's
ago.
all I think about is Tresca.
That's all you think about? I know something else.
When we went to Tresca, that's all I could think about.
We went to someplace else last year. Come on, use that brain of yours.
I
Oh,
can't.
come on,
It's gonna
dude.
melt.
Hampton Beach Seafood Festival.
Of course especially when they
Of course we were there. Okay. Yeah.
There's so much food, I forget so much food.
Yes, of course you do. Yeah, Hampton Beach
we
Seafood
probably
Festival.
let's be honest. Like, I mean, if there was 22 Wicked Bite episodes, all summer down the vineyard, then back here, just going to the places we regularly go, we probably visited, 120 restaurants.
That sounds actually almost right. Yeah. There's a lot of times we visit 2 or 3 a day.
Yeah. So
I
mean, nobody does that. Nobody. And now
Right,
Kayla's got me cooking.
nobody.
Well,
Nobody.
that's why
First
we
world
look how
problems. I like the acting over there. She really gets into
Acting.
yeah, acting.
That's why we look how we look.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
Happy.
we actually.
We look happy, Mike.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's very true. One of the tricks is we can't.
You know what? Food does make people happy, though.
Yeah.
It brings them together.
Right.
That one thing I know about food, it brings others together. And no matter how far apart, you invite people over. Do you want some food?
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna say no to food. And if you say no to food, that's okay.
Right.
However, I'm sure you're not.
Well, let's talk about your food. Let's talk about Puerto Rican food. We had Puerto Rican food a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
then you actually had the opportunity to be in Puerto Rico, and it's like you never
I
experienced
don't want
that.
no flan over here.
There you go.
I want my tres leche over there.
But you wouldn't. But
It was
you wouldn't
good. It
know
was
it
so good.
unless you tried it, and that's what this other show is talking about doing. Is you need to get out there and have these experiences. Don't be so steak and potatoes every day.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much diversity in the Boston area too.
Yeah.
I mean.
I love my Thai. Now we're talking about food, so you're gonna get me going. I love my
there's a food
Thai.
show.
I love my Cambodian food. I love Mexican, Colombian.
week,
I love
yeah.
Brazilian. What else?
Are there a lot of variations between those
Khmer.
last 3? Is there a lot of variations between those last 3? Colombian,
Yes. So
Brazilian.
So as like Dominican and Puerto Rican, people would say, "Oh, you guys are the same." No, not really, because we use different spices.
Right.
My mom doesn't use she doesn't like Dominican rice. Don't get me wrong. Doesn't mean she doesn't eat Dominican food. It's just in the rice, she has her own particular things
Right.
in her rice. So it's when people have their own expertise, they rather do it themselves rather than eating somebody else's food.
Right.
And that's just a plain fact. So when you tried other people's food, like myself, I am a foodie, and my mom is a foodie, so she's loved Cambodian food. We always have a bunch of Viet Thai. I love my egg rolls, my spring rolls, my
Yeah. we
pad
were
thai.
going to go to a Thai place in December, and
And don't get me wrong, I like Italian and pastas and
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that, but I love healthy vegetables and
oh yeah, Thai's great for that.
Yeah, soups
Absolutely.
and-
a lot of your Asian cuisines are good for vegetables.
my
What
carrots.
do you like for food? What's your thing?
Okay, Kayla, what's your favorite food, ethnic or otherwise?
I mean, I'm open with anything, but I'm very simple with Italian, Mexican,
But if you have to pick one,
Italian.
Italian. Okay, she.
Well, she
I
loves-
gotta, I
she loves
stick to her
gotta
roots.
go with the roots here.
She loved Tresca.
I love
She's
it.
only been once.
Okay, you got to go. I think Marlene has only been once.
I'm
too.
gonna put her on
Right,
blast
so-
right now.
so I
That's
don't
not
feel
gonna
so
happen. Yeah.
Rich, we're
Yeah.
coming for you again.
Yeah, Rich, we're
There you
coming.
go.
All right, Brian, if you had to pick one,
If I had to pick one,
if you had to pick
now
one,
you're putting it on me.
I am putting it on.
And
you.
this might sound weird.
We gotta pick one.
This might sound weird. But
you lived on a deserted
Chinese,
island.
traditional Chinese food.
Traditional,
Yeah,
not Polynesian Chinese.
Not Polynesian, but I mean, a good poo platter sets me straight. Like I just,
that's not
I don't
traditional.
know what it is. It's not, but
No.
I do the Szechuan dishes too. I do like
The Szechuan
Zhao
is traditional,
and I
yeah.
do like, there's different flavorings.
And some of them are very spicy too.
yeah, they're very spicy. Like India, when I went to India, talk about spices, the curries and everything like that. The
Oh,
hot
yeah.
spices.
Curry.
They're so serious about
Over
Curry,
it.
top.
lots of curry in
But the
India.
goat and the lamb, a lot like you get in Greece. Forget about it.
Forget
You know,
about it.
Lamb kebabs in Greece with a nice Greek salad. Yeah, forget about it.
So now
I'm
I'm talking about
done.
Greek food.
What, Michael? What's that place that we went to that we tried lamb chops before? It was for that music video for Mav.
Oh, that was the. That's the place in Somerville. I'm trying to remember what the.
It left my head, but that's the first time I ever tried lamb,
Oh,
and it was so good.
They were
It
lamb,
is.
it's mini lamb chops. It was
Yes.
delicious. She's had a
so
lot
did
of
they
lamb
have, did they
since
have a little
then.
boot on them?
Yes.
Were they in a circle with little boots?
And that's what, not saying that I expect it like that every time, but
Yeah.
when I want my lamb chops like that, I'm wanting that for sure.
But that's basically American fare.
Right.
There, I know the name of the restaurant. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I'll get it later.
You're going to go to a Greek. And Stevie D'Amato just went to a Greek place on the North Shore.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I
thing.
literally was drooling. I was
Talk
watching
about
the show and
cheating
I'm
on
like,
me. Talk about cheating on me.
yeah.
Yes.
You know.
The Greek places should be mine to cover, but that's
Yes.
okay.
What's something from with the lamb chops? It was good with
Oh, for
with cucumber.
the mint jelly you're talking about? A lot of
No.
people have lamb with mint jelly, but that's an American.
It's true.
Oh, you're
I
talking
did
about
try that, though.
She's talking about tzatziki.
Yes.
That's Greek.
And that was
Tzatziki
from
sauce.
when we had that seafood festival.
Yes.
I went home with the tzatziki sauce. I remember I was talking to the girl that was running the show.
I wrote down the ingredients and everything.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I want to do it. Like I genuinely
It's
want
very
to
easy
go
to make.
and
It's you get
home
Greek
and do it
yogurt,
myself.
cucumbers, a little dill, some garlic, and you mix it all up and a couple of spices, and you're good.
Kayla will be there soon.
There
Kayla's
you go.
Gonna,
All right. So
Kayla's
Marlena,
in
you
for
got to
a
pick
lot
one.
of trouble this year.
It's
Marlena's
something
gotta
where
pick
I-
one.
I'm ready.
Pick one.
experiencing with picking one River House.
No, I'm saying an ethnicity.
Oh.
Ethnicity, or a specific.
I had to pick one,
genre.
and it was very unfair. I'll have you know, because I love a lot of stuff.
If
I
I, had
know.
to pick an ethnicity,
Yeah, I know it's hard
of
to pronounce
food.
sometimes. A genre of food too. You could say a genre. American is a genre. too.
Thai.
Thai. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So we got an Italian, we've got a Chinese, and we got a Thai. Okay, so mine is Mexican. I love Mexican food. I love a little spicy, not too spicy, but the variety. And actually, if you really think about it, you can eat healthy with Mexican. You just got to cut out some of the cheese and the sour cream and
How
other
many
stuff
times
like
have you
that.
been to Mexico, Mike?
I've been to Mexico probably 7 times, I think it is. Usually mostly cruises. But yeah, 7 times.
Yeah.
So Cozumel, Playa del Carmen. Where else did we go? Not Costa Mesa. That's California. I can't remember. We began with a Costa. I can't remember the name of it.
But you've been around. You've actually been to Mexico. And you've
Yes,
tasted the
I have.
food. So you know,
Yes.
you have a very firm grasp.
Oh yeah, very
What it
fresh,
should taste
fresh ingredients down there.
Yeah.
Very fresh.
Oh, I believe that.
And they use a lot of fruits in their preparations.
Oh yeah.
You know, so which is really really good.
So does Cambodian, Chinese, Thai. They're all about that.
Fresh.
And
a
Puerto
lot of your
Ricans.
Caribbean and South American
Yes, exactly.
have a lot of the same ingredients because they grow them down there.
And I'm sure Italian people too, like their tomatoes, their cilantro.
Fresh from tomatoes.
We
For sure.
we also recently we went to a great Cuban restaurant, which is owned by Gloria Stefan and her husband down in Orlando, and they used to own Bongo's Cuban Cafe, but now it's more upscale, and it's just called the Stefan's, and they had some great dishes there, Cuban dishes, the tres leche, a few other things like that.
Got me remembering.
Oh, and then of course the live bands going playing too. That was phenomenal. One thing I do remember, Miami has a lot of Cuban restaurants. Great Cuban restaurants down there. I once ordered a banana split. I was like, okay, I ordered a banana split. And he goes, it's not going to be like any banana split you've ever had.
I'm jealous.
So, oh boy, this thing was. I'll never ever forget this dessert. One of the
kind of
best
bao you had?
desserts I've had in my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, it came out in a baked shell. Okay.
Okay.
And not bananas. It was fried plantains. Okay, so right off the bat, I love fried plantains.
Interesting.
Mango, no pineapple, mango, the sauces and everything else, the whipped cream.
Where was I?
And there was coconut ice cream. You were, I don't know where you were.
I don't think I was around.
I hate to say it, but you might not even been born at that time. But
I don't think he was sharing, by the way.
Oh no, I wasn't going to share this thing with anybody. But it was the most delicious, one of the most delicious desserts I've ever had. I've never had anything since.
Can I
then.
be like that? Can I not share too?
Sure, absolutely. Why not? Absolutely, yes.
On the not
If
share.
you love any,
She's gonna end up on the naughty list.
be like Brian. Just be like Brian. That's all you got to do. Not share. No, it's okay. Next time I get one, I'll share it with you.
No,
Brian.
Brian shares.
No, he shared his chowder with me at the Fat
Oh, did he
Cat, so
really?
yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
Kayla, that was just for
It was
you.
actually-
You can't wrap me out like that. You can't be telling people that.
It was
Brian
big.
is softening.
No, I have
But
a
I
rep.
vouched for you.
I'm like
You
Weird
have
Al.
to
You
share.
ain't fat. You don't know what fat is. You ain't been around here.
the fat cat.
I mean, it was good.
Sharing
But I
is
did.
caring.
Great
I
name for a
shared
restaurant,
shared
huh?
it with her because she likes clam chowder. So I was like, well, this one is more robust. It has like a wood flavor to it. and they add like French fries and tomatoes and herbs.
Oh, at the Fat Cat?
And and it's like a creamy reduction over this cod. Or haddock.
Oh, that's
This
part of.
haddock. I had it
okay.
with you last time.
That was like a seafood chowder kind of thing going on, right?
Amazing.
Yes, it was like a seafood chowder.
They call it a cod chowder, but it was haddock.
Amazing
It was a fish.
grace.
But I said, Kelly, you got to try this. You got to try this.
He's
And
like,
she's
"Here."
like, okay. Because but once it hit her, it was like, oh, I get it. Because I think when you're young, you don't know, like you're into the grilled cheese and you're into the real basic stuff, but as your palate
I made
gets
myself a
educated-
mean peanut butter and jelly
Yeah.
sandwich today. What?
Yeah.
Well, I will eat those peanut butter. The
Yeah.
Welch's sandwiches in a little bag.
No,
The
this is
little-
how I did
the
it.
Smucker's ones, I eat those. I eat
The
those.
little lunchables
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, the lunch. I eat those, man. They're Uncrustables.
Uncrustables.
And you get a whole box. They're $20. I got 2 boxes in my refrigerator. If you don't
Yep.
believe me,
Have you tried with the chocolate?
no, I haven't tried it.
You should try with the chocolate.
Ooh, something
have
new
no
for
idea what
Brian.
you're missing.
Look, he's already salivating. Look at
I
it.
have 2 boxes at home.
Okay, Marlena, what'd you do today?
So I had organic bread. Okay, I'm on this protein with myself now, and I put almond butter, raspberry spread, fluff,
Oh,
and
fluff. Totally New
Nutella,
England.
and Nutella together. I mean,
So
you cannot judge
the minute
me
you added
without
the fluff,
trying
it became non-organic. Yeah, definitely. But who doesn't?
Fair enough.
New England,
However-
New Englanders love
There's
fluff.
just a little.
Yeah.
Fluffernutter was born here. So
All
yes,
that combo together,
It sounds delicious.
I put you on.
Okay.
Well, there's pudding.
You're gonna make
Pudding's
lunch
always
for me
good.
next week and bring it down with you. Okay, definitely. What were you saying, Brian? I'm
I
sorry.
was saying pudding's always good too as dessert.
Pudding?
Like a nice
Pudding.
chocolate
Yeah,
pudding. We
pudding
had
is
chocolate
good.
pudding.
Oh yes, we did.
We
chocolate
made-
pudding,
we made
Fat
chocolate
Cat
pudding
style. Wait a minute.
with cosmopolitans.
Okay,
Yeah, we made cosmopolitan
chocolate
too.
pudding at the Fat Cat. Is what you're saying?
No.
Oh no,
Oh.
no.
We went back to the set and we made chocolate pudding with
Oh,
whipped cream
today? Oh.
and cosmopolitans.
And excuse
Not
me.
from the
today.
box,
How come you didn't?
because you can't
you
say
had
you
your
made chocolate
sweet
pudding
and you
and
had
making
your-
it from the box.
Oh, it was
No, and wait a minute. You didn't bring any.
no, we didn't do that today.
Oh,
we did that because
okay.
it was like a treat after filming and having a long day.
Oh, so just for yourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for thinking.
well,
of this.
some things are just going to be with Kayla, Mike. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right, that's okay.
Our relationship is going to
I
be
understand this.
tested a
I
little
understand
bit on
this.
this
It's
one.
okay. I completely understand.
Yeah.
This. That's
Hey, we
good.
love the relationship.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
good.
Partnership.
So what? Let's go back to the scraping the plate for a second. So what other things have you been cooking up, so to speak?
So.
Well, Kayla, go right ahead.
Okay, yeah, all right. So as you just saw,
I see how sync.
like, no, you go. No, you go.
Yeah.
But as you saw, we made Mexican dishes. We made queso, Kayla's queso, aka. We made tacos. But just recently, we came out with some dishes, actually some French Canadian dishes. I mean, I'm part French Canadian myself. So we made beef stew. We made French onion soup and poutine. And it's not the traditional poutine as you would get if you were to visit Quebec or anything, but we made our own.
I
put
tried it
put our own
before.
twist to it.
Okay, did you like it?
It was good, yeah. And
That's all
I've
that
never
matters.
had poutine in my
She
life.
ate almost
And you're
the
French
whole
Canadian?
And
bowl.
I'm partially French
No, okay,
Canadian, yeah.
okay. Maybe you do know this as being
Brian.
French Canadian. I understand. What's the difference between cheese curds and cheese? I don't even know this.
Well, it was a cheese curd, so it's
Because
a
cheese curds are
fermented
using-
cheese.
Curd,
It's
that's
like
what
a
they
ball, and it goes in there. And the gravy was a little bit lighter in its texture. It wasn't as dark, but it's a gravy, cheese, and potato with some scallions on the top to give it a little color, and that's the way you ate it. It was just like, it's just think about this: mashed potatoes, gravy, onions. It just all makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just the way that the French used to have it. And then the beef stew, because a lot of the French Canadians were hunters and trappers. So they would make wilderness stews of whatever they had, whatever meat they had. You know, bear, wolf, raccoon, squirrel, whatever. You know, I mean, we used beef.
I'm no
used
longer
sirloin.
hungry after Brian said that.
Yeah, there was no squirrel in the beef stew.
Yeah, okay,
And
sorry.
there was
good.
a few things that happened.
A few things
that I
missing,
warned
thank
people
God.
about.
Okay, beef in the beef stew. Thank you
In the
very
beef
much.
stew. But you know what I loved the most? Was the French onion soup.
Oh, the French onion soup was amazing.
French onion
my
soup.
You
is
God.
always
good.
love French onion
Yeah,
soup.
but
I
and we
do too.
made it
I
with
mean-
the port.
I do too. You know, I'm
Even-
Yeah, we
many
made
times
it
I've ordered
with a red wine and a port.
red wine.
And,
Exactly,
and
Brian.
you know what? It's funny because someone wrote in and said, "Well, you should have did it with a white wine, and you should
Nah.
have did it with this type of stuff." No, but it was a more French Canadian. Mm-hmm. You know, it was more France French onion soup than French Canadian onion soup.
Got
It was
it.
just a different spin on things. I'll try it. I'll
Was it
try
good?
If you write in, I'll try
Was
it.
it good? Was it
But
really good.
The port was so resilient. The onions were perfectly
Yeah.
caramelized. Kayla had to cut them. She cried her heart out. Yeah, she cried
My
her
ancestors
heart
would be
out.
so happy.
I learned a trick with onions though. I used to work at Subway, and you put them in hot water, no, cold water, and
Cold
you put them
water,
in
yeah.
the freezer. And you let them
Ooh.
sit for a little bit, and then the aroma or
It's a
comes out of it,
chemical.
yeah.
There's a chemical.
will
that-
go in your eyes and
oh,
make you
oh
cry.
my God, yeah. Oh, like yeah. That's
That's very good.
I kind of caught on a little too late that the onions were starting to,
Girl,
I was
don't
like,
make me cry.
Kayla, what are
very
you thinking
badly.
about?
It
I
was
thought she was
very
getting all
bad.
misty
I was
on
like,
Don't
you.
make
Really?
you
I was like, oh,
cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be like thinking about nothing, crying.
Now you learned how to cut onions on this show. That's great. Actually, I think in the future, what we do is we're going to put you in the TV studio and have you guys do a live cooking
Sure.
segment
Yeah.
in the future. We should do that. Definitely. One of the shows.
She has
upcoming.
skills that pay the bills. And in the near future,
Okay.
you're going to see it. You know?
You have to
Let's
plan
do it.
plan the menu. We get everything in the TV studio. This
Yeah.
is the radio studio for
And
people
it's,
who don't
and it's for
understand.
people to do at their home, too,
Yeah.
because we know what everyone's going through right now, and it's not pretty. You know, and you know what? You can't go to a restaurant every night. You know,
Oh no.
totally get it. Because I'm the same. If you think I'm eating gourmet food, I'm eating my frozen lunch at lunch, and I'm just choking the food down. I'm like, this is just to get me to A to B. This is not not what I like, you know.
Right.
But you can make this stuff at home, and you can feed yourself,
Yeah.
and feel good about it. Like
A lot of people, a lot of people using meal prep services now, though.
Yeah.
Oh my
You
God,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, a lot
Like
of them.
home
Whatever
meal,
they
like
can
my
to
mom
save
does
a
it a
buck.
lot too. She gets like deliveries like almost like every week.
Really?
It drives my dad nuts.
I mean, are
He
they any
hates
good?
it.
Are they any good, really? I mean, they're not really
They're
homemade.
good, yeah.
They're good.
They're
I mean,
good.
they're,
Yeah,
they're probably a
they're
step
good. My
up
dad
from
just
frozen
hates it.
dinners at the supermarket.
There
I'm
definitely
sure.
is. Well, that's what I'm saying. Everything has its elevation, you know. Everything has its elevation. And I've talked to many people in the Boston area, and they always say, "Oh, I watch all these shows, and it doesn't really elevate. You know, it doesn't have like this gourmet." I'm like, there is so many gourmet restaurants, so much high-level dining here in Massachusetts. You have no idea. You haven't experienced anything. You haven't experienced some of these restaurants out there because they're amazing, and they're new and they're creative. And you know what? The best part of it is people are very passionate about it. Like you can taste the food. You know that someone's passionate about what they did when you taste that food and you're like, wow. You're like overwhelmed. And that's how I felt about that French onion soup that day. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I could get this in a restaurant all day long.
Yeah.
Like that's how good it tasted, you know? And even the queso. My friends were like, this queso is out of control. It didn't make it off the plate. Kayla ate half the plate. Nick couldn't get enough of it.
I demolished it.
Remember
Wow,
Ryan?
great. I
Ryan
had
was
some too.
complaining he didn't eat enough.
I had some too. I brought some home with me, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Good.
Well, I
That's why I
can't wait
loved
to
it.
try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
That's right. I did give you
Yeah.
some
No,
of the
you have to make
queso.
some more.
Yeah.
Even like what
it
you
was
said,
buffalo
Brian.
queso. Buffalo.
Buffalo?
Buffalo
Yeah.
queso. Yeah.
Like even like what you
It was-
said,
Where
Brian.
was I again?
Well, we don't.
I don't know where you
I
were.
don't know. I don't cook with a light hand. I come from a huge family, so I don't know how to make something for two people. I'll be the first one to tell you.
Yes.
And I don't know how to measure stuff half the time. You know, I got to sit down and stop myself. I should
Yeah.
probably measure this. Like I should have probably measured the amount of wine I would stick it in the pressure cooker. But that's a story for
Oh,
another
that's
day.
you watched that episode. So,
Yeah, we'll have some more stuff for you guys. We'll be more prepared.
Yes,
Like,
tell
again,
us more. What is your
just
plans
growing.
for your cooking show?
It's only to grow
Yeah.
and to be more passionate about things that we do in life and to share that experience with other people and bring them along and bring them into the fold.
It inspired
And how
them.
can
We're going to draw you in. That's all I'm going to say.
there
and
you go.
how
Draw
can
you
the people
in.
find
Inspire
you?
you.
What is the name?
Yeah, you're gonna jump. It's gonna be online. It's gonna be on YouTube for now.
Okay.
But like the full episodes are not even there yet. You're only seeing clips of stuff that we're doing. So it's almost like you're looking behind the scenes right now. But when you actually see the hour-long show, when Kayla, Ryan, and myself all put this together, you'll see the full thing. You know, that's all I can say.
There
You know,
you go.
and find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube.
Yes, tell me
hit
the name.
smash like.
Scraping the plate.
Scraping the
And-
plate.
Scraping the plate.
and-
Well, we got to scrape out of here because we're done. The hour is over, unfortunately. So these guys will be back in about a month, give or take. 4 weeks. And next week, it's the Performer Radio Show that's coming back. And in 2 weeks, we hope to get Night Moves back.
There
Okay?
we go.
So we're all
Let's get
coming
it
back.
going.
And then some point down the line, we'll be back with Beautiful Broken and a whole bunch of new shows too, folks. So stay tuned. And thanks for tuning in tonight. And have a great week. And go to a restaurant this weekend. Have some fun, right? Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.